Team Evil Geniuses, bringing you this video with Nerdstomper.com. This is going to be the second video on jungling, and this one is actually going to focus on my, I guess, kind of famous Whispering Helm strategy. So it's going to involve recruiting some creeps with Whispering Helm and then using those creeps to go through the jungle. The first thing you're going to want to do with Whispering Helm is stack up a camp, and then since you have two chances to hit a good creep, you're going to recruit a creep. So the creeps you want are the Vagabond Leader, Catman Champion, and the Minotaur. The other creeps, such as the Skeleton King and the Vulture Lord, are not powerful enough to pull off this kind of strategy. So you only want those three creeps. So once you've cleared the stack with the creep, the first thing you're going to want to do is send it back to the fountain. So remember, so you stack the camp first, so you have two chances to hit a good creep, and then only recruit Minotaurs, Vagabond Leaders, and Catman Champions. If you don't hit a good one, then just wait for another minute and spawn it again and try to hit a good one there. So with your first creep, you can only solo the small camp with it, so it's going to kill the small camp. This works on the Legion too, obviously. This kill the same small camp, and then you walk to the closest big camp to stack it. So you kill the small camp. Obviously I'm microing a little more intensively here since it's the only thing I'm controlling. Really all you need to do is cast a spell and then go back to microing your hero and auto attack the creep wave and it's fine. Or auto attack the creep camp and it's fine. So then after you kill that, you have some time to stack. So you stack the camp on the way home. So after you stack it, you just go heal with the creep and then come back and repeat until your Whispering Helm's up. And that's pretty much all you can do with one creep. Against some camps like Snotters, it'll take a little bit more micro. After using a spell, you have to focus the main creep. Generally against camps like this, you should always just be focusing the main creep. So for Snotter camps, that's the thing that slows you. And for Antler healers, that's the Antler healer. The other camps, it's not too important to focus the main one. But in this one, it's kind of important, so make sure you don't lose your creep to those, which you can if you don't focus the main creep. So basically you do that, and then obviously you just go back to waiting to stack again. This is how you use one creep again. So this is how you do. So after your Whispering Helm's up, you've got one creep. This is going to be a different clip actually, but it's pretty much the same. You just recruit a creep from the camp you've stacked, and then you clear it with your two new creeps and also with your hero. Obviously, this would be going more efficient if I used my sonar scream on Hag, but I just want to show you that you can do it even if your hero doesn't have area of effect. In a real game, you would be using all of your area of effect spells to kill this camp. So once this camp is dead, you just basically send your creeps to heal, and then from there you just use those two creeps to continue doing the forest. So with two creeps, it's pretty easy to just solo any. You can solo any camp in your forest. You can basically just kill this camp. Really, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is hotkey these two creeps like Control 2, and then attack a camp, and then cast a spell, and then just go back to microing your hero. It takes like a second if you're used to it. With some at the beginning, you'll probably be distracted a lot by doing this, but with some practice, it's definitely a technique that can help you out, and it'll basically just be second nature controlling your creeps. So it's really simple. Look how I'm not microing at all. All I did is just use the spells at the beginning of every creep camp, and that's it. So that's all you have to do. Also, when you get to bigger camps, sometimes you'll actually have to micro a little bit. For instance, now my Catman is the lowest HP, but he's the one taking the damage. So all I got to do is click him and move him back, and then move him back into the fray. Sometimes the creeps will change target, so you got to be careful of that. But generally, if you just move him back and then move him back in, he won't die anymore. Make sure you move him back at 300 HP rather than at 1 HP, since then if the creeps change target, you'll have a little bit of time to react. But basically, you just kill the creeps until you can't kill anymore, and then send them back to heal, and then send them back into the neutrals to keep doing work and farming for you. So while you were creeping with those two creeps, one thing you wanted to do is make sure that as the time runs short, as your Whispering Helm gets up cooldown again, you leave a camp that has a Minotaur, Catman, or Vagabond Leader in it, so that when your Whispering Helm is up, you can go recruit it. You can go recruit that creep, and that will greatly increase your chances. Obviously, your chances will basically be 100%. Since your creeps are scouring the jungle, they're constantly clearing camps, constantly looking for Minotaurs or Catmen or Vagabonds to be recruited. And if one of those spawns, you can just leave it alone and then clear the rest of the jungle except that camp. Make sure you tell your team not to do that camp, since you obviously want that creep to be recruited later. Once you have 3 creeps, you can clear a large number of camps. You can basically clear the whole jungle before having to go heal. You don't want to deal with any stacks since if there's a stack there, first of all, one of your allies was probably stacking it, so they'll be mad if you take it. Second of all, your 3 creeps can't really take on a whole stack, mostly because your creeps are always casting spells, but enemy creeps, their AI is programmed so that if there are 3 of your units near there, then they will start casting spells. Like their Minotaurs will start stomping, their Catman will start stomping, and their Vagabonds will start using their Shockwave. So 3 creeps is kind of the threshold though. You can basically clear any camp with it. Once you've got 3, it's pretty easy. You generally want to use 2 spells for the big camps, and 1 spell on the smaller camps. That way you can conserve your mana and like just keep your creeps in the jungle for as long as possible without having to go heal. So this is pretty much the concept. You keep going, you like 4 creeps, 5 creeps, they just keep going up, being able to clear the jungle faster. And at the end of the game, you can use them to like push lanes when you're not there, or similar situations like that. You can also use them in fights. Just have them surround your hero, and if anyone goes on you, then your creeps are going to give them a hard time. So generally, you're not going to want to do this with Hag, but the strategy is effective with heroes that don't really have area effect to farm. Like Puppet Master kind of has area effect, but he's not really an area effect hero. And Arachna and other like range farmers like that are particularly good at using Whispering Helm farming. Alright, so the last topic I want to cover about Whispering Helm jungling is the Ice Ogre. So Ice Ogre is not really good early game or the mid game. Like he's not going to help your creeps that are running around through the jungle killing everything, and he's also not going to help you in the fighting in the mid game, since in the mid game fights could happen anywhere, and this Ice Ogre is not really mobile. Like he's got 270 move speed, doesn't run very fast, can't teleport, so he's not really useful like in the middle game. But in the late game where everything's like pushes or Kongor fights, and everyone knows where the fight's going to happen, Ice Ogre can be extremely strong. Obviously the reason he's strong is not for his battling ability. I mean, you've killed him all the time in the jungle, you know he's not a strong fighter. So what he's strong for is his ice armor. So let's read it. Icy Cold armor. Plus 8 armor. First of all, that's already ridiculous. Since this ability has a 5-second cooldown, you can basically cast it on your whole team and have it always on your whole team. So plus 8 armor is basically like having like a 1400 item, like the plate mail on your whole team. So imagine giving your whole team a 1400 item for free, doesn't even take an item slot. That's already broken. The next broken part is whenever a melee hero attacks you, they get minus 30% movement speed and minus 30 attack speed. So basically that hero is just completely shut down for the rest of the fight. That's really good. Like if the enemy team has anything like Predator, Madman, any melee DPS hero, just casting ice armor on your whole team is going to completely shut him down in the late game. Now watch, I'm level 1. You know, these Minotaurs kind of hurt. Like, they're going to kill me pretty quickly. Now you put on ice armor. Not only can they like not kill me anymore since it's taking a frick ton of time, it's taking forever, they also can't chase me. Watch as they try to move while they're frosted. Like, it's just so slow. Ice armor is really good. Make sure you get an Ice Ogre. It's really key if the enemy team has a melee DPS hero, but against any team, like the armor itself is already good against ranged heroes. So if just after like your 4th or 5th creep, or your 3rd creep even, be sure to recruit an Ice Ogre, because a lot of the time you're gonna finish your Whispering Helmet to a symbol of rage and you won't be able to get Ice Ogre anymore, and that's just a tragedy. You need to have an Ice Ogre on your team if you're making Whispering Helm, because Ice Ogre is just super powerful in the late game, and there's no reason not to have it. Like in the past, back when the metagame wasn't tri-lanes and it was all like just farming, Ice Ogre, like Whispering Helm was extremely overpowered because of Ice Ogre. Ice Ogre would just, like if one team had an Ice Ogre and the other team didn't, the game would just end. So that's kind of that's a little bit how it works now. Since the metagame's a lot more gank oriented, Ice Ogre is not as strong, but in a lot of late game situations, Ice Ogre can be the breaker. So make sure that you have an Ice Ogre in the late game. It's really key. So I guess that's it for Whispering Helm jungling. I hope you learned a lot about my technique for Whispering Helm jungling. A lot of people like to use the Whispering Helm to like stack Ancients, which is, I consider that extremely unsafe, because first of all, killing Ancients makes you really low HP, takes a while, and the Ancients could get stolen, you could die while killing Ancients, like if someone ganks you. It's just a lot less safe than, and it's like, I think it's even less gold than the method I've shown you here. And just make sure you always remember to continue, not lose any creeps, keep going through the jungle with your creeps, and make sure you have an Ice Ogre at the end of the game. Once again, this is Yoda from Team Evil Geniuses. bringing you this video with Nerdstomper.com. And be sure to check out our forums. I'd love to answer questions, read comments, respond to video requests on there, and it's really good. Thanks for watching.